Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the fifth and final round of the inaugural GT4 season here with SimSport Racing on Assetto Corsa Competizione. Alex Goldschmidt once again rejoined. Thank goodness you're back, buddy. Steve Bradley from SimSport Racing, fresh from his antics last week, is now back in the commentary box. Steve, how are you, buddy? Well done last time out, I must admit.
Yeah, thank you very much, Alex. Taking the easy option this week and commentating, maybe. It was quite frantic, shall we say, once the rain came down at Laguna Seca last week. But yeah, really enjoyed it and rewarded with a reasonable finish. So I'm thinking we're going to have some really good racing tonight at Zolder. The guys are all commenting on how it's their favourite track. There's been some serious practice. Because although we have got our championship winner sorted out at the moment, there is some keen battles from second place down for all those positions.
Well, let's have a look at the results from last time out. But obviously, first of all, don't forget we have 50% of the eSport charity fundraiser being held on the 3rd of October 2020. It's the 12 hours of the Nürburgring on the GP circuit. It's GT3 and GT4. It's a multi-class GT endurance event. It will be streamed live as soon as the current ADAC total 24 hours of the Nordschleife is completed, and we will be supporting Mind for Better Health, which has been doing so for people with mental health issues for the last 60 years. But let's have a look after what happened at Laguna Seca. Gianluca De Luca took the victory ahead of Stephen Haley, who also took a point for fastest lap of the race. Aaron Walker, who effectively becomes our de facto champion, he has already been confirmed for season one, took third ahead of Steve Proudley. Michael Haffernan and Tim Fulbrook rounded out the top six, with Sam Spenkelink, Angus Martin, Dave Hedges and Mark Neutlings rounding out the top 10 positions, with the likes of Kieran Vidago, Joao Diaz, Richard Emery, Regan Mitchell making their way into the top 13. But Aaron Walker, with 175 points, took the title quite convincingly ahead of Steve Haley, Dave Hedges, Cody Pride, Chris Crossman, who had some pedal issues last time out in the GT3 race, if you might remember, at Monza, wasn't able to compete with us last time out at Laguna Seca. Regan Mitchell and Sam Spenkelink and Tim Fulbrook round out the top 8 ahead of Richard Emery and Michael Haffernan in the top 10 in the standings. But we have a grid, and so starting on pole position is Mark Raddenbury in the Ginetta, with Adam Isalovic in the Chevrolet Camaro alongside. Then it's Gavin Utley, Regan Mitchell, Richard Emery, Joao Diaz, Kieran Vidago, Mark Neutlings, Dave Hedges, Angus Martin rounding out the top 10. Michael Haffernan will be flying solo in his team this week, as Tim Fulbrook not able to make the season finale here at Circuit Zolder. We've got Aaron Walker starting from 12th ahead of Stephen Haley. Gianluca De Luca in 14th ahead of Nikola Dobrevsky, Cody Pride, Reese Wiggin, John Adris and Thomas Stanek. But Zolder, Steve, an iconic circuit. Nearly 2.5 miles. It's just over 4 kilometers long. It's hosted the original Belgian Grand Prix. It's hosted the initial DTM, and it also hosted the DTM. It has hosted the DTM in years past, but also along other championships. And it is a very, very fast-paced, nevertheless technical circuit here in the Hasselt region in Belgium.
Yeah, I agree. Very, very technical, but I think it's a circuit that's possibly very well suited to the GT4 class. It's all about flowing corners, keeping the speed up, being smooth, riding the curbs where you can, or jumping the curbs as it may be in turn 5. It's well suited to these cars, and I think we're on some top-notch racing. We just have to look at that, the top 10, and would you believe it's a reverse grid? Because in the top 10, there's some real quality in there. You've got race winner Gavin Utley in there. You've got Kieran Vidago pushing Regan Mitchell. Let's not forget in the Maserati, he's not slow. If the conditions stay dry, he's quick. There's some very quick guys in that top 10. Dave Hedges in 9th. He's going to be pushing. Michael Haffernan 11th. They're all consistent, all quick drivers, and it's going to be very intense, I think, tonight.
Well, also along with the conclusion of season 1. Looks like I think we are now getting underway with our formation lap. We've got some exciting news to talk to you about, and we're going to talk GT3 after this 45-minute race. But it's not only the scene for the final round of the first season of GT4. And Steve, one of the biggest things about this is that the format quite clearly works. You know, having a 10-minute qualifying session, as we had at Brands Hatch Grand Prix 5 weeks ago. And I think that everyone has really, really enjoyed this new, fresh breath of air that GT4 has brought into Assetto Corsa Competizione, as we see Mark Roddenberry leading Adam Isalovic around the circuit here. It's definitely going to be a big part of sim sport racing, and that's a very exciting time for us here, isn't it? In what we call the place to race. So don't forget to head to simsport-racing.com to find out further information about how you can get involved if you've got a gaming PC, a steering wheel, a set of pedals, and also you're available on Discord. Feel free to get in touch. We're available to bring you on board, and we're fair with what we do. We always make sure that people get to move up things. But Steve, the GT4s now becomes a real good part of SimSport racing, most notably on the 3rd of October, the 12-hour Nürburgring Endurance, which is 50% full at the moment.
Yeah, we're enjoying great sign-ups for the charity event. As you say, 50% of the space is gone already with GT3s, GT4s. Obviously, that still leaves around 25 slots left. So, you know, like Alex said, head over to the website and follow the links for sign-up for that if you're interested in helping raise some money for Mind. But yeah, the GT4s, it definitely is going to be something that we carry on with as a community, because especially with the reverse grid, that was something we thought we'd try. We tried it. It's worked quite obviously because the championship is still relatively close in the middle, and the drivers are really enjoying it, and it has led to some fantastic battles. I think there's been some very memorable rounds out of only 5 rounds that we've had. You know, it's been very good.
Indeed it has. I couldn't really agree with you anymore there, Steve. Local air temperature, virtually speaking, 19 degrees Celsius. Track temperature 25 degrees, as Mark Roddenberry will have alongside the 111 of Adam Isalovic and the Chevrolet Camaro GT4. For those wondering about that particular car, it was done as a non-GM works package because Aita Engineering, with Thomas Enger, who's on their books, is one of the people that has actually helped to develop that car. Right, ladies and gentlemen, one final time, 45 minutes on the clock. We now head into the dual file rolling start formation. Looks like both Roddenberry and Isalovic will control the pace, and we've gone green for the final time. And now we're going to go to the turn simply known as Arista, and up the inside of Adam Isalovic stays Mark Roddenberry at the moment, as they're now going to go to Stellenbosch. Again, this is another track that has corner names. I'm going to do my best because my Flemish isn't that good around here. But Isalovic takes the lead as up the inside of Gavin Utley. Looks to be Joao Diaz in the 26. As now Regan Mitchell up already into 3rd place and chasing down Mark Roddenberry. Now, you had a brief word with Mark before this evening, Steve, as we've got 2 drive-throughs already. It looks like we've got Cody Pride and John Agius that have been hit with drive-throughs for start phase infringements. But we just basically said to Mark, well, just go out there and just do your best and drive your own race.
Yeah, obviously the effects of the reverse grid, it put Mark on pole position. You know, somewhere where he'll agree with me. As he goes off there.
That's not commentator's curse. We were trying to give Mark a bit of showcasing, let's say. But in the meantime, Mark Roddenberry rejoins in around about 10th position and gets Michael Havenden around the outside. It's 3 abreast, and Roddenberry into the wall and clashes into one of the Porsches. Oh my goodness. And that was the 701 of Cody Pride, of all people. So Mark Roddenberry's Ginetta G55 GT4 having major dramas, as we've got another car in the wall a little bit further back. Now, that's not Aaron Walker. I think that might be possibly Reese Wiggin, or not too sure, because Gianluca De Luca is down in 17th and stone dead last. But Aaron Walker managing to weather the eye of the storm there to keep himself now in what is 10th position. So John Aegis and Cody Pride have to serve their drive-throughs within the next 2 laps. Otherwise, they get pinged again. But Adam Isalovic taking the initial lead now here, Steve. and that was not what Mark Roddenberry was wanting, because he's now down in the pits and probably repairing damage as we speak.
Yeah, finish my sentence. When I was talking to him at the beginning, I just told him to enjoy it, drive steady, just drive wide, drive defensively, But obviously he was under pressure there, and it's easy said, He tells these drivers to go steady, but when you're under the pressure, it's a totally different experience.
Right.
Put it to another replay.
Okay, so this is where it gets it gets a bit pinball-esque as one of the Porsches goes wide. As I've just seen. Now, this is changing all the time because Joao Diaz up into third, Gavin Utley being pressurised by Richard Emery, and then there is Kieran Vidago, and there is Dave Hedges not too far behind in the 88 Aston Martin. This quartet is battling away over fourth position. Just over 3 minutes of this race completed. And it's not an easy, and I think it's just gone from bad to worse for Mark Roddenberry. He's just being pinged for a stop go 30 for speeding in the pit lane.
Oh dear, poor Mark.
We have to feel sorry for him, because at the end of the day, every driver gets a lot of motivational chats with everybody, including with Steve Proudie and a lot of the team like Aaron Walker, Stephen Haley, Dave Hedges, who are amongst some of the core team. To be a part of this community myself personally, to be the sort of the official de facto voice when we started this journey with the GT3 season 3 a few weeks ago, Steve, to now be part of to have seen one full season. I know I'm not with you the whole time throughout the GT3 season because of my other commitments, but it's just great to see how this community has started to flourish and evolve over the past couple of months or so.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. We've got a lot of new drivers joined us in the last sort of couple of months and are racing for the first time, with SimSport, and not just with SimSport, sim racing for the first time. So, there are a few incidents here and there, but, we sort of take away, we review the incidents, we talk to the drivers, and we offer advice, and help, and going forward, we help them with setups, and, we just encourage people and try to get them to the best standard they can be. And it makes for better racing for everybody in the end.
Very, very true. I think a community that works together learns together as well in the process. Cody Pride still yet to service drive-through, but has set the fastest lap of anybody around the 2.492 mile circuit here at Zolder, a 1 minute 36.945. As now the gap between Adam Isailovic and the 111 Chevrolet Corvette is leading by just over 1.63 seconds ahead of Regan Mitchell, who has now taken fastest lap honours. And I must be completely honest here, Steve, out of all the drivers, Regan Mitchell has gone with the one GT4 car that has no ABS, no traction control, and yet he is pushing that car like crazy. It's got to have a smooth driving style. We mentioned about this earlier on in the season, but let's have a look at the replay. Here's Mark Roddenberry again, trying to get past some of the rest of the field. Aaron Walker goes side by... Yeah, right, this is the one from earlier. So effectively, Aaron Walker and Michael Haffenden went side by side. Mark got a slight tag because Michael was trying to go into Aaron's space. It then hit... Mark got turned into the wall and then came across and then hit the back end of Cody Pride. So those drivers now in the pits. Here's another replay. You can just see, that was the back end of it. And then this will be John Aegis and also Nikola Dobrevsky, all getting a little bit touchy-feely, let's say, at the end of that, as Cody Pride apparently has had a disqualification against him.
I'm guessing he's not taken his drive-through penalty before. You've got to take it within 3 laps of the penalty being issued, so I'm guessing he's not done that, so he won't count in the final standing now.
No, so this is getting rather interesting behind Kieran Vidago, as Michael Haffenden and Aaron Walker were quite literally side by side that particular point around, and they're battling over what is 8th position. As now Dave Hedges trying to really thread the eye of the needle alongside Kieran Vidago.
I think that was Gav Utley, actually.
That's
Gav Utley, yeah.
Yeah, that's Gav Utley up the inside of Joao Diaz in the 26 Mercedes. Runs a little bit wide on the next corner, but sweeps across the front nose, that very, very long snout of that Mercedes, as Joao Diaz runs a little bit wide. This could allow Richard Emery to go up the inside. However, the 115 Aston Martin not able to get through. And then, forget the Jarno Trulli train behind. It is the Dave Hedges train. And Dave is quickly being followed by Aaron Walker. And that is the battle for 6th position.
Yeah, then Kieran Verdago and Michael Haffenden. I think Michael Haffenden will be putting pressure on Verdago very soon to get through to follow Walker.
Yeah, as Diaz nearly gets pressurised there by Emery through the chicane. And yeah, you spot on there with the way that Haffenden is trying to drive the wheels off of that Ginetta. As one of the cars up front, it was either Diaz or Emery that kicked up the dust there on the left-hand side of the circuit. 37 minutes still to go. And Aaron Walker again, he's the champion, but I think he just wants to go out in style, doesn't he, Steve? He just wants to try and get up through to the front of the field and go, hey, everyone, look at me. I am the champion. Well, yeah, we know you are the champion, Aaron, because you secured that when we finished at Laguna Seca, when you finished ahead of Steve Proudly. After that, and that was a titanic battle in its own right between the pair of you, and that was really, really good to see that you getting into a GT4 race and giving the man that ended up being the champion a run for his money, Mr. Proudly.
Yeah, that was just because it was on the slippery stuff. I think if it had been dry, Aaron would have just led the way, I think. But yeah, Aaron's a great guy, and he's one of those guys that he'll jump in that car and he'll give it 110%. Even if the setup's not quite right, if the car's not right suited to the track and he knows he's at a disadvantage, he'll still go out there 110% and he'll drive for the best position he can possibly get. And 9 times out of 10, that'll be a podium, if not a win.
Yes, indeed. Now,
I was just going to say, his wife Amy's just mentioned on YouTube, "Let's go, champ, let's go." So she's supporting the champion.
Yes, indeed, she is, and that's really good to see that it's not just about the drivers within the community; it's the wives, the girlfriends that all really rally behind their other halves and just really make it a really good, everyone's got their own particular cheerleader, so to speak. You'll pardon the term, but and Rich Smith goes, best of luck, guys. Looking forward to seeing some aerial action over the first chicane. Well, let's just hope there's no sausage curves involved on that one. Tim Fulbrook says, gutted to not be racing tonight. Cheering on HF Impala teammate Michael Haffenden. Chris Crossman says, Champ is Range. Sorry, Chris, you've lost us there, buddy.
I'll explain that one off air. It's probably best not for airtime, that one. Yes,
exactly. We'll leave that one until the back of it. But we've gone on.
All I will say, Alex, sorry, is it involves Range in a wardrobe.
Range of Kelsey, by any chance, was it?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not going there on that one. Mark Reddenbury now has a Stop Go 30, but look, there's massive dramas here for Joao Diaz, who's dropping down the order whilst we're having a bit of a laugh and a giggle. And that front of that Porsche 718 of Aaron Walker's is looking a bit more second-hand than I think I've seen all season. It's got a few dents on the bonnet, as now Michael Haffenden putting the headlights ablaze on there, as Dave Hedges trying to go toe-to-toe with Richard Emery. Joao Diaz in 6th place is now Regan Mitchell. In the meantime, Steve has closed up to within 0.4 of a second of Adam Isolovic, as we're now on lap number 7 here at Zolder. And you can just see that Aaron Walker not quite having all his own way, as also Dave Hedges goes 2 wheels off onto the dirt there, still keeping it within track limits. Joao Diaz trying to close up on the number 88 Mercedes, 88 Aston Martin, not Mercedes. As Joao Diaz nearly gets an assist from behind, thanks to Aaron Walker, who manages to put on the anchors rather quickly there. But still, this is getting rather feisty here, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they don't get much closer than they're driving at the moment without tapping each other. And you see Aaron's just trying to take advantage of every piece of track there as he just cuts the chicane slightly. But he's, like you say, he's got a lot of dents and scrapes on that car. He's certainly had to battle his way through to 7th place.
Mm-hmm. Considering he's only made up 5 places so far, but it could be 6 very shortly if Joao Diaz opens the door, as Aaron Walker looks towards the outside of the next corner, tries to take a tighter line through the apex, gets a better run. There's still enough room for the Porsche to get through as Diaz goes very wide. And straight away, Aaron Walker knew he had the opportunity to get through. Kieran Vidaga, in the meantime, has also closed up on the sister Mercedes.
Yeah, Aaron worked that move for me, but just put that extra bit of pressure on and just caused him to go wide there and open the door. That was a fantastic move.
Yeah, I think Vidago was trying to force the issue there just then through that chicane, but Diaz wise to it. So Isalovic leading Mitchell by just over 5.5 tenths of a second. Gavin Utley, who won back at Kyalami, if memory serves me correctly, he's running out the top three. Richard Emery, wide there from Dave Hedges, and that allows Aaron Walker to close up once again. So it's not, I think it's mainly about the fact that we now go on board with Aaron Walker in the 99 718 Cayman GT4 MR Club Sport, and you can just see from this perspective, Steve, how much it's easier to be the one chasing everybody in front of you, because if you're the one that's doing the chasing, you've got no pressure. You're the one that can go for it and use the person in front effectively as a marker for where you're next going to use the next braking point, the next turn in, the next how you're going to power out of the corner and rotate the car, for instance.
Yeah, I mean, that's true to a point. I mean, you're putting 110% trust in that guy in front, because as you can see, Aaron's, you can't see half the back end of that Aston when he gets up behind it in the braking zone. So if Dave makes the smallest of mistakes, then Aaron's going to tap him. So it's credit to both drivers. And personally, I prefer to be the one being chased rather than the one doing the chasing. I find that easier, but that's just personal preference. But Aaron's in hunt mode now, and he's really putting the pressure on Dave, who's equally putting the pressure on Richard Emery there, and Richard doing a fantastic job in 5th place.
So at the moment, obviously with Cody Pride now disqualified via a black flag due to not serving a drive-through for a start phase infringement. Effectively, it was a jump start and had 3 laps to serve the penalty. Was then black flagged and disqualified. So we're now down to 16 drivers, being led still by Adam Isalovic and Regan Mitchell. Those are our 2 leaders at the moment. Regan Mitchell has now got the gap down to just over 3.25 tenths of a second. Gavin Utley in 3rd. Richard Emery now on your screens at home, ahead of Dave Hedges and the champion for Season 1 and GT4, Aaron Walker, who looks very close into the braking zone. Joao Diaz in the 26 as we go on board. Now, this is a fantastic angle we've got here. Right just behind the front splitter on the 718 Cayman GT4 MR Club Sport of Aaron Walker in the 99. And that's how close he is getting to the back bumper of Dave Hedges. And as you said, Steve, this is 110% commitment from Aaron Walker to have the trust in Dave Hedges. And let's not forget, they're both accomplished sim racers in their very own rights.
Yeah, both of them are quick guys, and as we see, Rick's made a mistake there and gone wide, so that's gifted a place each to these 2 guys.
I think it could be more than that, because Diaz wasn't that far adrift either. Richard Emery is now going to get swamped on by the 2 Mercedes. He's actually been passed, and that was by Joao Diaz, and Kieran Vidago is not too far behind either. But Richard Emery in the 115 Aston went very, very wide out of that corner. I think he just had a bit too much momentum carry, and that allowed both Hedges and Walker to go through. As we now fast approach, we've got 29 minutes of the inaugural GT4 Season 1 still to go here at Zolder, but Isalovic leads, Mitchell in 2nd, Utley 3rd, Hedges and Walker round out the top 5 as Regan Mitchell absolutely fighting the traction on that Maserati Gran Turismo GT4, absolutely trying to keep things well and truly in the fight with Adam Isalovic, and it's not too far between them. These 2 cars can be quite evenly matched. Joao Diaz in 6th, Richard Emery now down to 7th, ahead of Kieran Vidago, Reese Wiggin, Michael Havenden, rounding out the top 10 ahead of Mark Neutelings. Angus Martin, Gianluca De Luca now up into 13th. Our race winner from Laguna Seca last time out, Nikola Dobrevski, as now Regan Mitchell trying to look for an opportunity. So Dobrevski in 14th, Aegis in 15th, Raddenbury 16th, as Regan Mitchell now trying to close in on Adam Isalovic, and he got a good run coming out of there, didn't he?
He did indeed, and it's impressive to see that Regan at the moment is holding the fastest lap of this race, which is no mean feat in that Maserati. As you say, no traction control, no ABS, so he's driving the wheels off it at the moment and really putting the pressure on Adam and looking for his, I think this will be his first win of the season, if he can get the job done.
Let's just see if that does happen, as we are fast approaching the halfway point of this in about 5 minutes' time. As again, he comes out of the corner, does Regan Mitchell, and then straight away puts on the power, but the back end trying to slide out and spin the car around. But Regan Mitchell absolutely defiant in terms of not letting the Maserati win the fight of traction on the circuit here at Zolder. And looks like there's a back marker just up ahead at the moment, as you can now see just how close these two are. Mitchell still trying to close up on Isalovic for what would be, for either of them, their first win in GT4, considering the fact that we had we've had Aaron Walker win the first round at Brands Hatch. We then had the second round, which I think he won it as well. Third round went to Kyle Lamy. That was won by Gavin Utley. And then we had Gianluca De Luca last time out. So you can just see how much closer as Regan Mitchell goes towards the right-hand side of the Chevrolet. And this is going to be very, very touch and go. And he sends it round the outside and makes the move through the chicane. But Isalovic coming straight back at the 69 Maserati. And the Chevy through into the next left-hander and then into the next chicane. That will be the Villeneuve chicane up at the top part of the circuit before they go through into what they call Tolamenbocht, and then come towards Boulderberg, and then a corner named after the late Jochen Rindt. This circuit known with regards to Jochen's last days in racing, and obviously before his tragic passing. But you can just see how hard Regan Mitchell here, Steve, is pushing.
Yeah, he is, but I mean, let's take nothing away from Adam as well in first place there. He's defending excellently, and to come straight back at Regan after Regan got past him through the chicane was awesome. That's something he needed to do, because I think if Adam does get in front, then he might just be able to gap Adam a little bit.
Well, he has started to do so, because I noted coming out of the Jackie X corner that Regan had a bit of sideways motion coming out of that. And that has dropped. That's actually meant that he's dropped behind Adam, who's done a really, really good job so far, initially getting the lead off of Mark Ranenbury going into turn one, as Dave Hedges nearly runs four wheels off track. And that is allowing Aaron Walker in the 99, our confirmed Season 1 GT4 champion, to close in on him. And again, you can just see how measured Aaron Walker is in that Porsche. That has really been his he's picked the right weapon for the actual season itself, hasn't he?
He has, yeah. I mean, it's a great car in Aaron's hands as well. He's a very precise driver. He knows how to drive. He puts the hours in practice in, and he certainly knows how to set a car up. He puts a lot of effort and emphasis on the car setup as well. So
now, looks like Richard Emery is closing on the back bumper of the 26 of Joao Diaz. This is the battle now for 6th position. There's Kieran Vidago, who's been passed by Rhys Wiggin in the meantime in the 667 718 Cayman GT4. So whilst those at the front of the field have started battling away, these lots are squabbling like a load of children wanting to get through the school gate first. But looks like Richard Emery trying to go up the inside of Joao Diaz for 6th position. And he hasn't made the move through. But in the meantime here, Steve, look at how close Rhys Wiggin has been. He's gotten quicker as time has proceeded onwards.
Yeah, Rhys is, he takes part in the GT3, GT4, and it's his first sort of seasons with us, and he's doing really well. He's improving race after race, and he's putting the time in. He practices, he joins in with the races, and as you say, he was a bit steady at the start, but he's got stronger and stronger as the seasons have gone on. But the other thing to watch at the moment is Hedges and Walker, although they are battling, I do believe they're catching up to Gavin, 3rd place, so potentially there may be a three-way battle for that podium spot before the end of this race.
Yeah, looks to be the case, because I've just been having a look at the lap time, Steve, and Gavin Utley just put in a personal best of a 1 minute 36.981. Dave Hedges, a 1 minute 36.804. Aaron Walker is the quickest of the lower part of the top 5 with a 1 minute 36.750. And Aaron is actually not that far off of the fastest lap of the race, which is still in the hands of Regan Mitchell. And Aaron's best lap time in this race is a 1 minute 36.702, with Regan Mitchell still the fastest out of anybody in that Maserati with a fantastic time of a 1 minute 36.483. As we see the train being led by Joao Diaz, and looks to be that Michael Haffend in the meantime has actually been closing on this, as Kieran Vidago has got past Reese Wiggin for 9th position. We are past half time on the clock, so we have 22 minutes and 15 seconds of the SimSport Racing Assetto Corsa Competizione GT4 Season 1 finale to go.
Just while you were watching the boys on the main screen, I was just watching the little picture-in-picture at the bottom, and as they went into the hairpin, I believe Aaron just gave Dave a little tap on the back just to let him know this is how close I am, buddy, and I'm wanting that place off you. He's really putting the pressure on Dave, who has to be said he's soaking it up at the moment. He's driving a very good line. He's not too defensive. They're still putting in decent lap times, but he's just managing to keep Aaron at bay.
Yep, I completely agree with you. And we've got Tim Fulbrook saying, I'm just looking at some of the comments on the SimSport Racing YouTube chat here at the moment, Steve. And is that Tim Fulbrook's gone? Is that a Ginetta hanging with the Porsche Aston Mark train? Yes, it is. Yes, it is, Tim. Shame you aren't here with us, buddy. You should have got yourself back behind the wheel again, because we might have seen two, whether it be you or Michael, one of the other, maybe, but leading the mini Ginetta train at the back of this. But Joao Diaz again, still hanging on to 6th position here, Steve. He's doing a fantastic defensive job on Richard Emery in 7th place at the moment, isn't he?
He is. They're all doing a fantastic job. Like you say, that the defending, the attacking, it's all very close. There's been a couple of little taps, door rubbing, nothing major. Once they've all got settled down, and they're just keeping it all close, all within tenths of a second and even closer. As Rick goes side by side there, and he's just forcing him wide, but looks like he's going to get the job done.
Yeah, it could be the case. Let's just see if that does happen. Oh, very, very close as Vidago tries to go through, but this is going to allow Reese Wiggin to go side by side as Joao Diaz and Rich Emery go across the start-finish line. Oh, that was close, if ever you called it, from Joao Diaz across the front of that Aston Martin for Rich Emery. Emery gets a hit from behind, courtesy of Reese Wiggin, and that allows Kieran Vidago to go through. Michael Haffenden not able to try and get through, but will he get the switch back on the Aston Martin going through the next corner? He's got a good run coming out of the turn, and up the inside of the 115. Does the 861 make it through? It's going to be very, very much a case of wait and see, but he has got past. So that was, I think, out of all the GT4 races we've had, this seems to be the one that's the most feisty out of all of them, because everyone's just out for anybody. And it doesn't matter what position they finish on. They just want to go absolutely flat out. As you can now see in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, Aaron Walker still chasing down Dave Hedges. And he switches to the right, goes to the left. Can't get through quite yet, can Aaron Walker. But this time, Dave Hedges again runs a little bit wide. Walker in that Porsche looks to be a little bit more planted, as the gaggle of cars being led now by Kieran Vidago in 6th. Joao Diaz in 7th, Michael Haffenden in 8th, and then Richard Emery and Reese Wiggin rounding out the top 10. I've got a distinct feeling here, Steve, that we haven't seen the rest. We haven't seen anything yet, because now Richard Emery trying to get past Michael Haffenden and going towards the outside of the Ginetta through the chicane. He's now going to run wide. Is he going to go grass tracking? No, he doesn't. But Reese Wiggin manages to get through.
Yeah, I'm going to say he lost a position there. He went way too deep on the brakes into the chicane there, which he was trying to go around the outside of Michael and just put himself in a position in a block. It was trying to block pass, I think, really, but he just went too deep. But Vidago now, he's trying to get the foot down and get some fresh air between him and the guys behind. As Haffenden is chasing down Diaz now.
Yeah, but then we can't forget about the battle between the two leaders, because Isalovic not being allowed to breathe by Regan Mitchell. That has gone on for pretty much the majority of the races. Again, Michael Haffenen comes out of the slipstream of Joao Diaz as they now head into the Kleine Chicane and then into the Sacrament Schelling, and then up towards the Villeneuve chicane. So hopefully my pronunciations will get better, but I think, to be honest with you, this is not a time to talk about corner names, Alex. This is a time to talk about racing that's going on out on the circuit. And Steve, you might have just seen Ames Walker's little comment in the YouTube chat just a moment ago.
Yeah, just reading it now, Alex. To be fair, I'm reading it before I read it out, because you just quite never know what's going to be typed in there. But
excuse me. And then Daniel Parker's now getting in on it, and there's a lot. And then he says, "You won't want me to sing."
well, to be fair, Alex, if you're game, I'm game. I'll certainly. Mind you, you're not commentating on the charity event, are you? So you get out of that one.
I do. So we might have to get you and Jack Oliphant to do that then, Steve.
No problem. If it means Aaron can take part, then yeah, no problem.
Well, there you go. You got yourself a deal there, Ames. Because for those wondering, she said, just putting it out there, as your 12-hour charity event is on my birthday weekend, that is. That if you, and that was meaning me and Steve, but obviously I won't be there that weekend because I'm elsewhere, saying happy birthday to me live, I'll consider letting Aaron join the event.
we could do that.
Daniel Parker's gone one better. He said, auto-tune can only do so much. Are you talking about yourself there, Mr. Parker?
Well, what I was going to say is that, in the Formula One and some other events, they have the national anthem. We will sing "Happy Birthday" to Amy instead.
There we go. That's the national anthem. Well, the national anthem of the of the 12 Hours of Nürburgring Endurance event being hosted on the 3rd of October 2020. It's going to be an absolute cracker with 50% of the grid already secured, done and dusted. And now we go back to the battle between Regan Mitchell in second in the Maserati Gran Turismo and Adam Isalovic in the 111 Chevrolet Corvette. You can just see how hard Regan's pushing, because he comes through into Arista, and the back end of that Maserati just wanted to start wagging quite significantly there, but coming through into Lucien Bianchi Bocht and then through in towards the Canal Bocht and then into Lucien Bianchi Bocht before they go to the Kleine Chicane, which is what they're heading to at the moment. You can just see that Regan Mitchell, even though sometimes when he's putting the power down, the back end steps out, but he's managing to be able to correct it quite quickly, isn't he, in that Maserati?
He is, yeah. I mean, he's just trying to get on the power as early as possible to try and get the better drive out of the corners. But like you say, he's fighting traction. He's just losing traction as he's doing that, and he's probably having to just feather the throttle, come off the power slightly, give it some opposite lock, and he's doing really well. He's keeping the pressure piled on Adam, but it has to be said, Adam's doing an absolutely fantastic job. Someone else doing a fantastic job is Aaron. He's got past Dave Hedges, and he's gapped him by just over a second now, so he's going to be chasing down Gavin, who's just over 3 seconds ahead of Aaron now. So yeah, the battle is now on for third place, I would say. Gavin, watch your mirrors, because he's coming for you.
Has anyone got the Jaws music? But we've had another drive-through being issued, this time to Nikola Dobrevsky in the number 10. Not too sure what that one was for. Possibly for track limits, I would imagine, Steve, maybe?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, they're penalties that are handled by the sim itself. So, it allows you so many track cuts and gives you a warning for each one. And then once you've done, I think it's 3 track cuts, you get a penalty.
As Michael Haffenden still trying to chase down Joao Diaz, who has now been passed by Kieran Vidago. Reese Wiggin in the 667 Porsche 718 came and trying to close down on the 861 Ginetta as they come across the line. And now Haffenden's really in the toe of Diaz heading in to Arista, but won't be close enough to try and send it through. And then it's the triple right through Sterrenwacht. And then it'll be Canal Bocht and then Lucien Bianchi Bocht. And then they'll have the run down to the Kleine Chicane. But looks like this time around, Haffenden going for the move up the inside of Joao Diaz. Diaz trying to power through the corner, gets two wheels on the grass. The Ginettas back up the inside. That is an absolutely brilliant move by Michael Haffenden. He had enough room to get through. And now here comes Rhys Wiggin, side by side with the Ginetta, on the head down towards the Kleine Chicane. And this time, Rhys Wiggin now gets up into 7th position, but he loses a bit of ground in the chicane as they go up the hill towards the Sacrament-Schelling. Down the dip, through into Buta, round the outside. I cannot believe that Michael Haffenden has kept that pin to the outside and through the Villeneuve chicane. He gets past Rhys Wiggin, and as a result of that, also look behind. João Diaz has been passed by Richard Emery. That is absolutely brilliant dynamite action in the closing stages of this season finale for season 1 of GT4 here at Zolder.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a little bit of door rubbing there, but nothing too untoward. They were just leaning on each other through the chicane. And Michael, has to be said, that was a great move, and he just stuck with it round the outside and then got the inside for the first corner in the chicane, and he just made the pass. Absolutely fantastic driving.
Well, I'm sure that's going to be on his Instagram feed a little bit later on this evening. It normally happens when him and Tim Fulbrook get going on social media, normally when I get tagged in it as well. 11 minutes and 53 seconds still to go. Isalovic still leading. Mitchell still trying to force the issue, as now looks like there was a bit of a run wide there by João Diaz, I believe. As now the main thing is that Haffenden has got to battle away with Rhys Wiggin. But then you look down, there are the leaders. Mitchell trying to close on Isalovic through the chicane. And that would have been, that's probably ran towards the far part of the circuit. So now they're going down the dip. As Isalovic, as you said, has done an absolutely brilliant job of just defending. And that's what the 111 and the Corvette has been doing all the way through this race. So just come through Boldebert, Jochen Rindt, through into now into the Jackie X-Bocht before they go into the start-finish straight. But Regan Mitchell has definitely got a bee in his bonnet, and he's got a point to prove that he can win a race, as that looks to be John Aegis has just let the pair pass. They come across the start-finish line. Pair was separated by just over 0.3 of a second. Regan Mitchell did a 1:37.224, and then Isalovic a 1:37.419. As Aaron Walker now sets the fastest lap of the race, a 1:36.381. That is 1.02 tenths. That's 0.102 tenths of a second ahead of Regan Mitchell, who up until that point held the fastest lap, until Fulbrook saying, "What a move from Mike. Keep that Ginetta throttle pinned." Well, he's got a bit more work to do. He wants to, as now Regan Mitchell looks towards the inside, through into the Kleine Chicane, and now into the right-hander that puts them up the slight ascent through the Sacrament-Schelling, down the dip into Buta, and then into the right-left chicane at Villeneuve before the Telamenbocht, which will then bring them onto the back part of the circuit. But Isalovic, again, I mean, you can see how hard they're pushing. Because
I'm just going to say, Alex, sorry, just look behind as well. Sorry to interrupt, but it looks like Walker's got past Utley as well, I believe. So he's closed up a big gap. I think I'm right in saying, unless I'm getting confused with back markers, but it certainly looked that way.
Well, no, you're right. You're spot on there. Well spotted, Steve Proudly. Aaron Walker looking to close this in on with a flourish, as we are now into the last 9 minutes or so of this race. And you can just see now, one of the key points here, Steve, is that because of the fact that we've got 9 minutes and 15 seconds still on the clock to go, Aaron Walker has now got the two leaders in his sights. This is what he wanted. I think, you know, you say that he's a very, very precise driver, but he's also got a realistic goal. And his realistic goal would be, well, I want to make sure that, you know, at the end of the day, I want to try and close it out in style. Now, we know we're going to be speaking to him anyway, irrespective of his finishing position. But what a way if he was to crown off that championship with a third and final victory in the inaugural GT4 Season 1 championship.
Yeah, well, I'm just looking at the guys ahead, and they're sort of doing a 137 mid, so 137.7, 137.8. Aaron, when he had clear air a lap ago, did a 36.3, so potentially he's got a second a lap in the bag on those guys. So with 8 minutes to go, it's not unfeasible for him to close that gap down, at least get within touching distance and make it an exciting, if it isn't going to be already an even more exciting finish with 3 of them battling.
Yeah, here's Michael Haffenden leading the train with Reese Wiggin and Richard Emery, as Mark Neutelings was just in the pits for serving a drive-through penalty for track limits infringements. So now Haffenden being cheered on by his teammate, Tim Fulbrook. But we have got some exciting news to reveal to you all at the end of this stream. Not just about GT3, but also about GT4, what the future is going to bring. 7.5 minutes to go, and now the gap between Adam Isolovic and Regan Mitchell, 0.264 seconds. And the gap now between Mitchell and Walker is just over 5.2. Last time out, you were right. You were spot on the nose here, Steve. Aaron Walker just did a 1 minute 36.420. Regan Mitchell, a 1 minute 37.281. And Adam Isolovic, the slowest out of the top 3, by over a second. To the tune of about 29 thousandths, more than a second slower than Aaron Walker. So the gap is coming down as Mitchell now, he's got a chance because Walker's now brought it down to less than 4.9 seconds. The lead is being quite literally slashed away at by Aaron Walker. We've seen this before from the 99 in the Porsche all the way through this season. When he gets going, there is absolutely no way that you are going to stop him. As again, Regan Mitchell, that was going through the second part of the Villeneuve chicane, going sideways. These tyres are starting to fall off the cliff here between the two leaders, as both Isolovic and there is Walker in the background.
Yeah, that's a big boost to the motivation once you can see the cars in front, which Aaron can now. So he's going to be looking at them. He's going to be looking at that gap, and he's certainly going to be chasing harder than ever. And I think he can certainly get onto the back of them, but catching them and passing them will be a totally different thing.
Yep, 6 minutes to go. Not long now as to see what might happen. So the gap between Isolovic and Mitchell goes to 0.774 of a second. Gap between Walker and Mitchell now drops once again. And what's more, the fastest of the race again has gone to Aaron Walker, a 1 minute 36.204. That is absolutely blistering pace from the Porsche. Now that he's got clean air. And this is one of the things that a lot of people might say, well, how come Aaron Walker is catching Regan Mitchell? Well, there's two main factors, and one of which is what Steve Proudley has just mentioned, the motivation of having those two cars in front of you. But the biggest thing is the fact that Regan Mitchell is in the dirty air of Adam Isolovic. Aaron Walker has 100% clean air in front of him, and that's why he's able to use the maximum potential of the car to close as we go on board through the Villeneuve chicane with Aaron Walker. Less than 5 minutes remaining. Goes through Terlamanbocht all the way down to Boldberg. So he's going to go through the left-hand kink here before the tight hairpin. And then it's a quick left-right going through Jochen Rindbocht and onto the main drag towards Jackie Ixbocht. And that is named after the man that was the original Mr. Le Mans with 6 24 Hours of Le Mans titles to his name, through into the chicane and then power out of the corner. The gap now under 3 seconds. I've got 2 words, Steve Proudley. Game on.
Absolutely, he's just done another fastest lap, 136.012, so he's knocking on the door of the 35s, and the gap's down to 2.5 seconds with 4 minutes to go. Aaron's certainly not given up, and Adam might find himself defending against 2 cars very shortly.
Well, good things come to those that wait, and this is definitely a final race that you just want to have a grandstand finale. And with the gap between the 2 leaders, Adam Isolovic and Regan Mitchell, now just under 0.3 of a second, as they go through the Kleine Chicane, through into Sacrament Schelling, through the left-hander up the hill, down the dip into Buta before the Villeneuve chicane. You can now see how smooth Aaron Walker is coming through into the Villeneuve chicane, through the left, through the right, into the left, and then through into another right, which then brings them onto Terlamen-Bocht. So effectively, I think I'll wait to see when Adam Isalovic next crosses the line, because we've now onto lap number 26 of this 45-minute race. 3 minutes to go. Still very undecided on who will take top honours, as Regan Mitchell once again trying to close on Adam Isalovic for the lead of the race. As now they come through to complete another lap.
Just to give him another mention, Dave Hedges, he's now up into 4th place. He's managed to get past Gav Utley.
Oh, there we go.
So, yeah.
The two fluorescent green Aston Martins of Dave Hedges and Gavin Utley now cross the line. Looks like there's a drive-through penalty for track limits for Gianluca De Luca. But now the gap under 1.8 seconds. And then the lap time done by Aaron Walker last time was a 1 minute 36.861. So this is not over. I think next time, because we've got 2 minutes and 13 on the clock to go, I think once we cross the line again, we'll have that plus an additional lap, I think. Just judging by if my mathematics are going to do anything right here, I think we could have. So they crossed it with around 2 minutes and 15 to go. We're running in the 1:37s. So with 30 seconds on the clock, that will basically be the last lap. So they'll have this lap plus another one to go, and then that is it, done and dusted for Season 1 of GT4. But again, Regan Mitchell closes up through that chicane, and he's right on the back bumper now of Adam Isalovic. Aaron Walker, 1.6 seconds adrift. As now we go on board with Regan Mitchell, and you can just see how hard the number 69 is trying to push. And look at the amount of steering correction. My goodness me.
It looks like Aaron's had an issue as well. He's dropped back into 4th place, so maybe he's just been pushing that a little bit too hard, and it looks like he's had an off somewhere.
And also Gavin Utley now has got a drive through. Dave Hedges now up into P3. So now we have just over 60 seconds remaining. Dave Hedges up into 3rd. Aaron Walker in 4th. So now we go. This is the final lap. This is all or nothing for either Adam Isalovic or Regan Mitchell. One of them is going to push, or both of them are going to push until the checkered flag. However, it is about the one that has no mistakes. As now Regan Mitchell gets a really good run over the next couple of corners through Canal Bocht. Then he goes a bit sideways, but he keeps on the back bumper of the Chevrolet through Lucien Bianchi Bocht as they now go onto the back straightaway heading onto the Kleine Chicane. This is now the case of when is Regan Mitchell going to strike. He's going towards the outside of the Chevrolet into the Kleine Chicane. Tries to get cut in. Can't get through. Isalovic keeps the lead. Powers out through Sacrament Schelling. Down the dip into the left-hander of Buta.
Well, I don't know about Adam, but I'm holding my breath right now.
I'm seriously holding my. Well, I can't hold my breath because I've got to keep talking about it. But through the Villeneuve chicane into the Terlamen-Bocht, Adam Isalovic at the moment does have enough lights at the end of the tunnel between himself and Regan Mitchell, as Gavin Utley now is ahead of Aaron Walker, who has been confirmed champion of GT4 Season 1. But let's just see what happens now. Through into the Jochen Rindt for the final time. I think Adam Isalovic, unless Regan Mitchell does something very, very brazen through Jackie X, I don't think he's going to get the chance. Round through the final chicane, powering out of the corner. It is a win for Adam Isalovic, who's led from lights out to checkered flag here at Circuit Zolder and takes the win after 28 laps by 0.819 of a second. Ahead of Regan Mitchell. Dave Hedges rounds out the top 3. Gavin Utley has been into the pits to serve a drive-through, and Aaron Walker, as a result of that, takes 4th place. Gavin Utley will take 5th. And Kieran Vidago will take 6th position as the number 4 TTR Mercedes crosses the line. Next up, it will be the 861 of HF Impala's Michael Haffenden, having done some great moves, and I think one of the greatest moves of the season here at Zolder, through into 7th position. Richard Emery and Reese Wiggin take 8th and 9th respectively. Angus Martin takes 10th Joao Diaz in 11th, Gianluca De Luca in 12th, Mark Neutelings rounds out the top 13. Here is Gianluca De Luca as the blue smoke being ignited on the main straightaway as Neutelings comes through into the final chicane. And then last but by no means least, Mark Roddenberry will finish in 14th despite being on reverse grid pole. But
awesome driving from the guys there. Really, really good. I've absolutely made up for Adam. Watching those two guys racing like they were, Adam and Regan, they're both great guys, and both of them deserved a win this season. And it was difficult to know who to cheer for. But Adam at the end of the day did enough to cross the line in first place. Fantastic driving.
Well, I think we now have to reveal the news, wouldn't you say, Steve?
Yeah, I'll let you do the honours, Alex. You've done most of the talking all night. I've just been sat watching, to be fair.
For goodness sake.
Fantastic racing.
Right, before we get our podium drivers in, we'd like to make a breaking news announcement. GT4 will return. September 9th, we start our second season, and we have 6 rounds. It will be a 10-minute qualification session for the first round of the season. All races will be 45 minutes in duration, no mandatory pit stop. We start with Misano on the 9th of September. The 16th of September, we head to Barcelona. Bathurst, the 23rd of September. Circuit Zandvoort on the 30th of September. The penultimate round will be on the 7th of October at Kyalami. And Laguna Seca will round out round 6 on the 14th of October. So ACC GT4 Season 2 is just 2 weeks away. We can't wait. We seriously can't wait. We had a really good discussion about this, and we're looking forward to have plenty of opportunities. So don't forget to head to simsport-racing.com to find out all the relevant information. Sign-ups, I think, are open, are they, Steve?
Not quite yet, but they will be within the next 24 hours. We're hoping to get them opened up.
So if you want to get involved with ACC GT4 Season 2, starting September 9th, give it until, I would say, Friday. Make sure that everything's all sorted, and then we will make sure that we accept your entries. Feel free to get involved. So that is really about it. That is the breaking news about GT4. Right, now, I have some people in the, interview booth. So I will now head down and have a good chat with them. I'll be back with you in a moment, Steve. So, firstly, what a great way to finish the season. A fantastic battle at the front of the field, and many congratulations to our winner for round 5 of GT4 Season 1, Adam Isalovic. Congratulations. That was a big battle between you and Regan all the way through that race.
Thanks, Alex. It was best race of the season for me, and a very, very hard battle. I'm sweaty all over, so yeah. It was very, very hard to be consistent, and those curbs on first chicane were devastating to go over. So, yeah.
No, but well done. You definitely earned that victory. But obviously, one of the biggest talking points with regards to the Chevrolet, it was a car that you were the only one that decided to be brave enough to take on that challenge. A bit like Regan with the Maserati, but. I noticed very definitively that at the end of it, like say within the last 5 to 10 minutes, that both of you were scrabbling for traction. The rear ends were breaking traction. What was the tyre degradation like for the Chevrolet around the course at Zolder?
In the last 15 minutes, it was awful, and I decided to drift all over. So, yeah.
Spoken like a true race winner. Adam Isalovic, congratulations for winning our final race of Season 1 for GT4. Well done, buddy.
Thank you very much, Alex.
Regan Mitchell, second place. That was, as I said to Adam, that was a very battle. You were the only one that decided at the beginning of this to go with the car that had no ABS, no traction control, but yet you still put up one hell of a fight all the way through that 45-minute encounter. There were multiple times when we saw the onboards and going through certain chicanes, you were powering out in the corner, and the Maserati didn't quite like it when you were trying to put the power down early and trying to keep it nice and smooth and controlled.
Hello. Well done to Adam, first of all, and especially in the last 15 minutes, no traction control really hurts. the Maserati. Normally, every other track it's brakes that hurt it, but here it's all straight line braking, so it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so obviously now that we've broken the news about GT, are we going to see you back in a Maserati, or are we going to see you in a different vehicle altogether?
No, I'm not going to be in the Maserati next time. I'll just...
I thought that might be the case, but at least you gave it a shot and you gave it your all. Regan, well done with the runner-up spot tonight.
Thank you.
No problem at all. Dave Hedges, good to see you managed to get a podium, obviously, with a few dramas in the latter stages, but nice to be back on the podium, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good. Thanks, Alex. Yeah, and obviously well done to everybody else who finished up the top there, Adam and Regan, and obviously well done to Aaron. It was a really good battle, and I think the chicane cost us both in terms of our places, but I think he come off the worst. So it looks like he hit the wall pretty hard, which gave me the opportunity.
I think Gavin also had a bit of front end damage on his Aston Martin as well. When we saw him come through the pits to serve his drive-through penalty, so it's not been. It's not been the easiest of circuits, especially when you go in close quarter, because we saw quite a few, let's just say, frantic battles around here at Zolder, didn't we?
Yeah, it's very difficult to pick your braking points when you're obviously going around the track. So especially on the tight corners. So it's very easy to run wide or brake a little bit too late and nudge people. So yeah, it's very difficult.
No, well done, Dave. Congratulations, but. My final interview of ACC GT4 Season 1 is to speak to our champion who secured the title last time out at Laguna Seca, Aaron Walker. Many congratulations. We were wondering whether you were going to catch up with the two leaders, but obviously dramas in the last few laps. I think it was with about a couple of minutes to go. Aaron sort of saw that put to pasture with possibly taking a third win in the season, but still to come away as our inaugural GT4 Season 1 champion, you must be feeling pretty happy with that.
Hi, Alex. Yeah, I'm over the moon. Well done to the guys ahead of me, Adam, Regan and Dave. I think I was taking a few risks at the end there to catch them both up, but I said to Mr. Proudly before the start of the race, I think I get that chicane right 9 times out of 10. You don't want to risk it really if you don't have to, but I had no choice.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the most dented we've seen that Porsche 718 Cayman of yours. At the front of it, I think the bonnet had quite a few stove-ins at the bottom of it, along with the front splitter and the front bumper as well. That car was looking a bit second-hand, let's say, at the end of this race.
Yeah, I think I made some questionable decisions at the start of the race. Mark also spun in front of me, so I caught him. I had a lot of damage for pretty much most of the race, but obviously the chicane at the end there just finished the job. But no, I'm over the moon. It's been a fantastic championship. I'm looking forward to the next one. I hope more people come and join us.
Indeed. Well, Aaron, congratulations. We look forward to seeing you hopefully defending your title next time, starting with Misano on the 9th of September. Well done, mate. Congratulations. Great job all season.
Very much, and thank you, guys.
So there we go, Steve. The conclusion of ACC GT4 Season 1 in the books. A worthy champion in the form of Aaron Walker. Adam Isolovic, the last race winner of the inaugural season, but in a couple of weeks' time, we head to Misano Circuit, Marco Simoncelli on the 9th of September. We start once again with GT4 Season 2. It's rather exciting times, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's been a resounding success. The drivers have really enjoyed it. Listening to them chatter in Discord, seeing the text posts, the pictures, things like that. It's been a championship that's been well received with the drivers, so that just makes it even more competitive. And yeah, we just want more drivers in there to mix it up, because obviously with the reverse grid, the bigger the grids, the harder it is for the faster guys to work their way through to the front. It just keeps it all a lot more open. So anyone that is interested, go to the website. If the sign-up's not live on the website, just hit the link to follow to Discord, and once you get into Discord, you won't miss a thing. And like I say, sign-up will be open, all being well, in the next sort of 24 hours, and we'll get you all signed up and see how many cars we can get on the grid.
Let's hope we get a big amount for Season 2, because I'm sure that it's going to be an absolute belter of a second season. Also, some other news for you. We've just been at Circuit Zolder for the final round of the inaugural GT4 season. This coming Sunday at 7 p.m, join myself and Steve Bradley once again as we will have round 6 of ACC Season 3 GT3 at Zolder. And that's going to be a good one. That's going to be 2 30-minute sprint races, once again like we had at Misano a few weeks ago, Steve. Again, it's going to be a different kettle of fish for those drivers that have been doing GT4, but now they have to switch into the big boys, and it's going to be very, very different altogether because we're going to have, I think, 2 fantastic races here this coming Sunday.
Yeah, 2 sprint races always makes for exciting racing. And as you say, in the GT3s, it's a totally different sort of track to drive. Obviously, now everything's at a lot faster pace. The curbs are less forgiving, shall we say. So, yeah, it definitely will be some exciting racing. 2 sprint races, so yeah, will be good stuff.
Well, that's it. There you go. There's the calendar for ACC Season 3 GT3. So we head to Zolder this coming weekend. 2 weeks from then, we'll head to the iconic Spa-Francorchamps, so a double visit to Belgium within a couple of weeks. Then it's Laguna Seca on the 27th of September for round 8. Barcelona will hold a 90-minute race on the 11th of October, and closing out the season will be Paul Ricard, Le Castellet, a 2-hour extravaganza to round off Season 3. We hope you'll stay safe, stay healthy, and we look forward to seeing you this coming Sunday evening at 1900 British Summer Time for round 6 as the true business end of ACC Season 3 GT3 here on SimSport Racing gets underway. Thanks for watching and have a good night.